Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Strategy Guide, where we show you how to get strategic victories and tactical victories in your favorite video games. Hey guys, M12 Warthog Game here. I am back with another episode of Strategy Guide. Today, we will be playing Age of Conquest 4, but we will be conquering not just a Mediterranean Sea like we did with the Gauls, but this is more ancient, but it's more medieval era, because we got Kingdom of France and a few other things. And well, I may not be able to pronounce all of these names properly, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pick a faction and we're gonna conquer the world as it, and I'm gonna show you how to do it with my strategic brilliance. Okay, so first off, these three areas here, which are sort of in Middle Eastern, in Asia, and Southeast Asia, these three factions that you can see here, and they expand, they're either going to expand right into each other. Song Dynasty obviously has to expand to the west, whereas this one, which has a name that I cannot pronounce, will probably expand to the east or to the west, but it would come in conflict with the Kingdom of Jerusalem. And then this one up here pretty much is free to expand up here. The Kipak Horde, I think that's how you pronounce it, could expand either way as well. But if it expands like more into the western side of Europe and whatnot, it's gonna end up in the Kingdom of France or Crown of Castle, or maybe in conflict with those. Shanghai, pretty much anywhere in Africa is good to expand for them. Great Zimbabwe, though they'll probably expand this way as well. The Congo Kingdom will expand, but the worst place out of all of these to expand, in my opinion, is in North America. Because if you look at this, this is pretty similar to Asia here, when you see these three. The only difference is that these three are much closer to each other. You'll have border disputes probably early on, because you want more land to expand to begin with. When you expand this way, everyone's going to expand this way, and there's going to be a lot of rush for all these territories here and pretty much most of North America. Although for me, I'm not going to be worrying about any border disputes or any wars, because I'm going to be playing as the Pepunias. I might be mispronouncing that, but I'm going to be playing as this, and the main reason is that I can get all these islands, all of Australia, Tasmania, a bunch of these islands, Philippines and whatnot over here. Pretty much Japan as well if I wanted to expand. Now, the reason why I assume that I'm gonna get this and not Song Dynasty is because they have all this land to expand to. If you can expand on land rather than having to go to islands, that's better, because you don't have to pay the disembarkment fees. But for me, I don't mind, because because I don't have to worry about being attacked early on, because the water sort of acts as a natural border. But later on, people will have big enough empires to where, if they wanted to, they could just click on a territory and be able to purchase 1,000 troops there. Yes, 1,000. I know in my Mediterranean Sea campaign one that I did as the Gauls, I could buy a few thousand, and very rare would I get the chance to have, like, 1,000 that I could just click, or like even 2,000, but that will happen later on, and this does go on for a long time. I'm predicting a lot of episodes on this, but for now, let's just get started. So I'm gonna join this. As far as I know, we start out with 20. Gonna continue and set our defenses and whatnot. We don't really have to rely so much on defenses. You wanna know what? I'm just gonna go with 100. I'm gonna send 10 that way. And 60 out here. Now you may go into the negative in terms of cash the first few turns, and that's to be expected because each territory you govern, you get money off that because of, you profit off that because of taxes and whatnot. Well, like from sales tax, and because you tax everything and whatnot, like an actual country or empire or civilization would do. Now, in this case, what I'm doing is expanding these to multiple islands at once. So, normally, you don't have a whole lot of troops to begin with. So, I got this first turn, I get these 3 second turn, and it looks like everyone else has 1 other territory. But me, I'm probably going to get 3 more this turn, and then I'm going to get a lot more next turn as well. If you look at this, I now have 5 territories, and everyone else has about 3 to 2. Exactly 3 for most of them. So that's sort of why I picked this one, because expansion, you have less restrictions on your expansion due to the border, without having to worry about bordering other people early on and them being able to strike at you. So that's like sort of one of the things I like about playing as the Civ. It's mainly just its starting location. It's like the farthest or most isolated, as I would say, from everyone else, which is actually quite beneficial. Now, of course, one of these 2 empires here will probably expand over to here near the coastline and whatnot. As you expand, you'll probably want to make allies with one of these 2 nations, if possible both of them. But my guess is that one of these two will eventually go to war with each other. It's just a question of who declares war and which side you're going to take. Now, the reason why you want to take a side once you get this is because if those 2 are fighting each other, it's your chance to act as a third party and go in there and just take territories from the one you choose to side with. Well, the enemy, or the one you choose to attack, not the one you choose to side with. And that means you take their territory, but it also means you can take territory from your ally, but not directly and attack them, because then you'd lose them as an ally. But take the territory and then your enemy took away from them back, because you're at war with them. And they don't bother you, because you're technically attacking their enemy and taking over territory that was taken from them by the enemy, which now you have. So it's sort of okay in that sense. So what I'm going to do here is, of course, get 3 more territories, bring this down here, move that there. I'm going to move this here. And we're going to get quite a lot. And I'm going to try and focus on, getting, more troops. Oh, let me think. What do I need? Okay, I'm going to make a small navy force of 20. Going to send that here. Of course, I'm going to expand as much as I can. And you want to also, early on, definitely prioritize which movements are better, because expansion early on, you want to get as much. Like, buy more troops or get another territory, because up here, your commands, you're limited by your commands, but not so much late game as you are early game. As the more territory you have, like, the more points you have for inputting commands. See, it gets a little bit bigger after a while, in a few turns. It's probably gone up since my first turn, if you guys have been paying attention to that. So what I'm going to do now is move these in a way to where they don't have to double back across the territory that we already own, and just go in and try and get as much territory as possible. As you guys can see here, I can't really zoom in anymore, but you see these little houses and whatnot? And little puts like that? That means that there's not a lot of population, which means you'll have trouble finding places for finding troops early on, but later on your cities will be settled in enough with your empire long enough that they could get lots of troops, like even like buy 1,000 troops from someone in one turn. Oh crap, I forgot to move that one. I forgot to move these guys. That is completely fine. We're gonna move this here. We're going to go down here to Tasmania. And we're gonna buy this. Now, of course, if your happiness unexpectedly goes down by a lot, or it goes down far enough to where people want to rebel, because happiness can go down from you declaring war or someone declaring war on you, you definitely want to go to finances, because you can change taxes and whatnot. I usually don't mess around with this stuff. Military upkeep, levies on commerce, +1 happiness. I'm at them +1% happiness at the moment. But what I definitely do a lot is that you can host fertility festivals, which is the equivalent of hosting a fertility festival in this sense, where you would go here and click on it, but instead of enacting it just for this one, using this bar here, like, activates it for all of them. And same thing for distributing money. Later on, when you get a little bit bigger, it becomes a lot more effective in doing what it needs to do. Now, generally, the way I expand, most of my funding will be done on mainland and not really on either this side, which I'm going to refer to as the old world, and I'm going to refer to the Americas as the New World, because up until Columbus's discovery, pretty much everything in Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, like pretty much all of this area except for the North and South America, was considered to be the known world, or what we knew existed in terms of land, an area in which civilizations had a spot where they could prosper. So, in this sense, I guess, in the sense that, now we're gonna do this, we're really gonna go wait until, like, in this sense, I'm probably just gonna go for everything in the old known world before I go to the Americas, and try and take that over as the Papunas, or however you pronounce that. I don't know. Like, okay? So, as I expand, I'm going to put more troops up here per tile, because I want them to be more protected, because, of course, they're going to be near enemy troops and whatnot. So, the most I can get from this is 65. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 60, and I'm just going to make a naval fleet here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send 30 there and 30 here. Now I'll move these on land. I'll probably won't have this one defended, but I'll have this one, seeing as it's much closer. I'll have this one be protected right here, but I'm going to move up through here so that I get all of these instead of just... because it would just be faster than making a navy and then go around. And plus, you just want to go for the islands that are connected. Like, this is a chain island here, but this one counts as 2 pieces, but you can go in between them without having to make a navy. And that's good, because early on, your costs will be... a lot of your cost in terms of what you have to pay for expansion is really just based on how much troops you have and how much the disembarkment fee will cost. Because half your troops is the exact cost of disembarkment fee. So if you want to disembark from somewhere as a naval fleet, if I have 100 troops, that'd be 50 for the disembarkment fees. 200 would be 100, and so forth. So what I'm going to do now is expand onto here. I'm going to go here. Now, I definitely do not have a whole lot of troops I could call upon if I from any given territory, like one where I could pretty much spawn 100, except for maybe my capital, which there's no like official like capital area like in Risk Factions when you conquer the world, like you actually have a capital that doesn't move. But what I refer to the capital is not where your leader is. That's your leader's location, but I'll constantly refer to the capital as the starting territory in which your leader started out in. So, and I'm probably going to do that. Now, like I said, you probably want to, in one of the two, there are two, civilizations that start out in, like, modern-day Asia that you want to ally yourself with in this game. I'm going to accept the request of the Song Dynasty, and I'm going to go here and try and get this territory over here. I'm going to go for these 3 islands next. Of course, I'm going to get this one next turn because I'm going to move troops there and so forth. And we'll see how that goes from there. I can't get a whole lot from that. I want to see if I can get more from this one. No, it's about the same. Oh, I'm limited by money. I'm trying to get 100. Okay, that's why. Okay. So, now, the only problem is that people are going to hate you more if you betray them and attack you. But I'm also going to tell you guys that, you don't want to be in an alliance with everyone, because everyone will get mad if you don't join wars with them, and sometimes they could go to war with someone that you're already in an alliance with. So, I'm pretty far away from this guy, so I don't have to worry about him getting mad and attacking me, but I also wouldn't be close enough to him to be able to support him. So instead, I'm going to request that we have a peace treaty instead. Make that more beneficial to me and to him, I guess, because if he sends me a message saying, I'd like you to join this war with me, I can't quite do that because I'm nowhere near him. Okay. So what I'm going to do, put 100 troops on the water. Okay, I'm going to do that next turn because of disembarkment fees, and you really got to pay attention to that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this situation here. The biggest gainer so far would be the Kai Patch Horde, the Crown of Castle is the biggest loser at the moment. I'm not sure if that's in terms of points, but what I'm going to do now is get those 3 islands. I should have moved here last turn, but for whatever reason I didn't. And now there's going to be a lot of fighting going on. Normally what's going to happen is I'm going to have generally focus all of my efforts on Asia first, like Northern Asia where my allies aren't. Sort of move naval forces over here, get Northern Europe, and then sort of focus on Africa and Middle East and whatnot until my allies call upon me to help them in war. Then I'll start taking territories that they once owned from my enemies and attacking my enemies as well. Now, both of these have asked to form an alliance. Now, this one right here, Tycoona, is in the Americas, and I don't really... for me, I'm not going to really focus on that area, so I'm really going to send them a request for peace. But I'm also going to accept this one, because this is like right next to Asia, and I could be involved with them very quickly and very soon. Because I'm planning on making... apparently that did not go where I wanted it to. Because I'm planning on going to other areas up there soon. So, I'm going to end my turn here. And I think from here... what I'm gonna do is probably go up here, get, like, all of these Japanese islands. Probably get this one. See if I can get a foothold here. I just want one territory that I have on, like, mainland. Not like all this stuff down here that's a bunch of islands. And see where that takes me. Okay, they accepted our peace treaty proposal. They've already expanded into South America. Like, early on, first 10 turns, you have good ability to expand. Every other turn after that, probably not so much, because you see me, I'm starting to expand up here. And I'm not doing so well, so... in terms of expanding. If someone has a few more territories than me, I'm not surprised. But we will get better stuff later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to claim this. Now, one of the main things I'm also going to tell you guys is that we have to worry about as being in our location is near, like, Indonesia and Australia, is that over here, enemies from North and South America don't have to travel all the way to Asia and across Europe to get us. They can just travel here, set up a base, naval base on an island here, and then attack us. Although I'm not at war with anyone over here, and the ones that I do have relations with, I'm more than likely at a peace treaty with currently. So when you're doing this, or you're at war with someone, just kind of check to make sure that they don't go across here, and that if they're not going across this Atlantic Ocean to attack us, make sure they're not sneaking around to the Pacific Ocean. Because I've seen people online, like not pick up on that. Like, they'll be like, huh? Like, I will take them by surprise with moves like that. So you gotta just pay attention to that as one of the more important things that you will need to do. So far, so good. I'm going to move my troops into positions. And I'm gonna make another set of troops there. Can I make more, though? I only got 50. I probably should have done 100 in one thing. Okay. So, if you can, try and grab as many islands in one turn. Probably won't be able to because you're more limited by your command movements up here, more in the beginning than you are in the later game and whatnot and so forth. Keep saying that, but it's one of the more important things. I'm going to move this here. I'm going to move these guys here. Now what I'm going to do is move up here, grab these two territories. That way it makes it easier for me to claim the other 5 remaining here and see how this goes. That is going to be my next step in this plan. This war of... it's pretty much a war of expansion right now. Wow. I don't have a whole lot of population on that island. Okay, so I can only make about 100. That's fine. I'm gonna put 100 here. I'm gonna put 50 here on one of these areas here. Go up here and ooh, no. I can't do that. Okay, like I said, I wanted like several areas of mainland. So I'm going to put 50 here. And then I'm going to send 50 here. Now, I did it twice for the same place because I want 50 to move first. I get the feeling that actions take place all at once, like you input your commands, and then they do it step by step. So, like, it's not like Risk Factions, where it's someone's turn and they do all of their stuff, and then you get to do your stuff. You all put in your commands at the same time, and then it all comes out as like one giant thing at the end. So, hopefully I get this area, which I guess they were planning to expand here, but they didn't quite get it. I'm going to send one there, that way it will be the fastest to get that. Of course, now I'm just going to send the other 49 there. I pretty much did that just so I could guarantee capture this. Now, I'm on neutral stance with the Sultan of Barzem of Cook. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Okay, so what I'm going to do, request peace. Now I'm going to send that to him. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to convince him with a few gold that it's in his interest to be at peace with me. Okay. So I made another 50. Now here, I'm going to add just 10 and send 10 troops here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all these 5 territories, bring all those troops back to here because this is just my 2 territory border, which blocks off anyone else from expanding here to here. Although they could easily come from not Africa, but Alaska area, or Alaska-ish area. It's not quite fully defined on the map what is that because I'm not doing modern stuff. I'm doing medieval world conquest. Pretty much is what it is. And I'm going to go and expand there. So they did accept my peace treaty. I'm not sure if the gold was the tipping point that convinced them. But we have it nonetheless. So now I'm going to put 50 of these guys here. And if I can get this, that's fine. I don't mind if they expand all around me. They're my allies, the Song Dynasty. I just want like a... Down here I want something at least next to them. Because they're my allies, and I'm like, if someone attacks us, I could like if these guys were to attack them, I could send boats up to there and attack them, or attack them from this border here and so forth. Now, another thing is that I'm sort of expanding just like on an imaginary line up and down this coastline here. I'm not spreading out like putting some in Africa, some in South America, some in Australia. I'm not doing that because it'd be too hard to manage. And if you had borders there, you have an increased chance that you'd be fighting on so many borders that you wouldn't be able to have enough money to fight on multiple borders because you don't have a whole lot of territory, so you're not going to get a lot of money from governing territories and whatnot and all that stuff. Later on, you'll be able to, like, I'll spend a total of, like, buying, like, 5,000 troops in Africa, 2,000 in Asia, maybe 3,000 because I need that many in Europe. But that will be later on in late game. Speaking of later on, I think I'm going to have to end this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, taking the time to leave any comments, questions, or feedback for me in the comment section down below would be highly appreciated. And I will see you guys later in another video. Bye-bye.